Today we are going to explain, love a revolutionary, serve a queen, her choice could spark a revolution. Let's start. The year was 1788. Versailles was a gilded cage. Its beauty was breathtaking. Extravagance dripped from every surface. But beneath the surface, whispers echoed. The French court was a viper's nest. Tension simmered just below the surface. Revolution was in the air. The scent of revolution mingled with the perfume of 1,000 flowers. It was a heady and dangerous combination. The walls of Versailles had secrets. They whispered of love affairs and betrayals. They whispered of plots and conspiracies. The very air crackled with anticipation. The extravagance of the court was staggering. Champagne flowed freely. Jewels glittered under the chandeliers. But outside the palace walls, the people starved. The gap between the haves and the have-nots was a chasm. It was a chasm that was about to be bridged. It would be bridged with blood. I was a shadow in the palace, a mere whisper in the grand halls of Versailles. A lady's maid, unseen and unheard, blending into the background of opulence and grandeur. I moved through the opulent halls like a ghost, my presence barely acknowledged by those around me. My days were spent in the service of Marie Antoinette, the queen whose life was a spectacle of luxury and excess. I helped the queen dress, carefully selecting her gowns and styling her hair to perfection. I was privy to the queen's most intimate moments, witnessing her vulnerabilities and fears. But I was always an observer, never a participant, a silent witness to the unfolding drama of the court. My life was a world of silks and secrets, where every whisper could change the course of history. I saw the queen's tears, her moments of despair hidden from the public eye. I heard the queen's fears, her voice trembling with the weight of her burdens. But I kept my own counsel, my loyalty to the queen unwavering. I was fiercely loyal to the queen, my dedication to her absolute. I would do anything to protect her, even if it meant putting myself at risk. Even if it meant betraying my own heart, I would not hesitate. I was a keen observer of human nature, always watching, always learning. I noticed the subtle shifts in the court's intricate dance, the power plays and hidden agendas. I saw the way the courtiers looked at the queen, their eyes filled with a mix of emotions. Pity. Disdain. Contempt. Each look a dagger aimed at her heart. I knew that the queen was in danger, the shadows of revolution looming ever closer. But I didn't know how much danger. Not yet. The storm was brewing, and we were all caught in its path. One day, Sophie discovered a hidden note. It was tucked into the embroidery of the queen's chemise, hidden so well that it seemed almost impossible to find. The note spoke of treason, a word that sent chills down her spine. It detailed a plot against the queen, a conspiracy that threatened the very heart of the kingdom. It spoke of a network of spies operating within Versailles itself, a web of deceit and betrayal. My blood ran cold. The enormity of the situation was overwhelming. I knew I had to act. There was no time to waste. I had to find out who was behind this plot, who dared to threaten the queen. I had to protect the queen, no matter the cost. Her safety was paramount. I decided to become a spy myself, to infiltrate the network from within. I would infiltrate the network, uncover their secrets, and dismantle their plans. I would find the traitors, no matter how deep they were hidden. I would bring them to justice, ensuring they paid for their treachery. Fear gnawed at Sophie's insides. She knew the danger. Discovery meant certain death. But her loyalty to the queen was absolute. She would not waver. She would face any peril to keep her safe, even if it meant risking her own life. With trembling hands, she tucked the note into her own bodice, hiding it close to her heart. It was a dangerous game she was playing, one that could cost her everything. But the stakes were too high to ignore. The queen's life, and the future of the kingdom, depended on her. Sophie's search for the truth led her to him. She had been digging through countless documents, piecing together fragments of a hidden narrative. Her determination was unwavering, driven by a need to uncover the secrets that lay beneath the surface. Jean-Luc, a young revolutionary with fiery eyes and a sharp mind. His presence was magnetic, drawing people in with his intense gaze and unyielding spirit. He was handsome and dangerous. His charm was undeniable, but it was his dangerous edge that made him truly captivating. His words dripped with venom for the aristocracy. He spoke with a fervor that ignited the hearts of those who listened, painting vivid pictures of a world free from tyranny. He spoke of liberty, equality, fraternity. His passion was contagious. Every word he uttered seemed to breathe life into the ideals of the revolution, inspiring hope and courage in the hearts of the oppressed. He drew people to him like moths to a flame. His charisma was a beacon, guiding those lost in the darkness of oppression towards the light of freedom. I found myself drawn to him too. His intensity was intoxicating, and I couldn't help but be pulled into his orbit. I was captivated by his intelligence and his passion. His words resonated with a truth that I had long felt but never dared to voice. His convictions resonated with my own growing unease about the chasm between the court and the people. The disparity was a wound that festered, and his vision of a just society was the balm I had been seeking. His touch sent shivers down my spine. It was a connection that transcended words, a silent promise of solidarity in shared purpose. I knew I was playing a dangerous game, but my heart refused to listen to reason. The stakes were high, but the pull of our connection was stronger than my fear. Their meetings were stolen moments. Each encounter was a brief respite from the chaos, a chance to share their dreams and fears away from prying eyes. In the dead of night, under the veil of darkness, they shared their secrets. The moonlight cast a silver glow on their clandestine meetings, adding an air of mystery and danger. She, the Queen's loyal servant, and he, the fiery revolutionary, caught in a web of intrigue and desire. Their worlds were at odds, yet their hearts beat in unison. With every stolen glance, every whispered word, their connection deepened. It was a bond forged in the fires of revolution and tempered by the risks they took. Love blossomed in the midst of deception. Amidst the lies and the danger, their love was a rare and precious truth. Section 5, Whispers in the Hall of Mirrors. Sophie, playing the double agent, fed information to Jean-Luc. Carefully chosen truths mixed with harmless fabrications. She learned the identities of the spies within the court. The names sent shockwaves through her. These were people the Queen trusted. People she considered friends. The weight of her secret life was a heavy burden. The opulent halls of Versailles, once familiar and comforting, now felt like a gilded cage. She moved through the glittering crowds, a phantom with a dangerous secret. The whispers followed her. The ghosts of the past seemed to watch her every move. The walls themselves seemed to pulsate with secrets. She could feel the weight of history pressing down on her. Sophie was surrounded by beauty and treachery. It was a dangerous combination. The night of the grand ball arrived. It was a night of shimmering gowns and glittering jewels. It was a night of hidden agendas and whispered betrayals. Sophie, adorned in a borrowed gown, felt a chill despite the warmth of the ballroom. The air crackled with tension. She knew the moment of truth was at hand. As the music swelled and the dancers waltzed, Sophie was summoned to the Queen's private chambers. Marie Antoinette, resplendent in a gown of silver, dismissed her ladies-in-waiting. When they were alone, the Queen turned to Sophie, a knowing smile playing on her lips. "You have done well, Sophie," the Queen said, her voice surprisingly steady. "The information you gathered has been invaluable." Sophie's heart pounded. The Queen knew. But how? She didn't have time to voice her confusion. The Queen continued. "I knew there were traitors within my court. I needed to root them out." The Queen revealed her hand. The spy ring, the notes, the whispers of betrayal, it was all orchestrated by the Queen herself. She had used Sophie as her pawn in this dangerous game. Sophie was both stunned and horrified. She had been betrayed by the very person she swore to protect. The Queen, unfazed by Sophie's shock, explained her actions. She had to protect the monarchy, even if it meant resorting to unconventional methods. She had to know who she could trust. She assured Sophie that no harm would come to Jean-Luc, as long as he ended his association with the rebellion. The world Sophie thought she knew shattered. She was surrounded by lies. Betrayal hung heavy in the air. She fled the queen's chambers, her mind reeling. The opulent halls of Versailles seemed to mock her with their beauty. How could such a beautiful place hold so much darkness? Sophie found Jean-Luc amidst the throng of dancers. She pulled him from the ballroom, her heart a storm of conflicting emotions. She confronted him, her voice trembling with anger and betrayal. He listened patiently, his eyes reflecting the flickering candlelight. When she was finished, he confessed. He had known all along that she worked for the queen. He admitted his part in the charade. He revealed his own reasons for playing along, his desire to protect his family from the queen's wrath. His confession, far from pushing her away, ignited a spark of understanding. They had both been playing roles, both fighting for what they believed in. In that moment of shared vulnerability, their connection transcended their deceptions. Their love, forged in the fires of betrayal, burned brighter than ever. The events of that night changed everything. The queen's gambit had worked. The traitors were exposed. The revolution was temporarily quelled. But the seeds of discontent had been sown. They would continue to grow, eventually blossoming into the French Revolution. Sophie and Jean-Luc found themselves caught in the crossfire. They chose to flee the gilded cage of Versailles. They chose love over loyalty, freedom over servitude. They disappeared into the anonymity of the city, their future uncertain. The echoes of that night followed them. The memory of opulent halls and whispered betrayals. The taste of freedom, bittersweet and intoxicating. The knowledge that even in the darkest of times, love can bloom in the most unexpected places. The French Revolution would forever be a part of their story. They would never forget the lessons learned within the gilded cage of Versailles.